3 days, just 72 hours. That is all it takes for the human body to enter one of the most fascinating survival states ever built into nature. The clock starts ticking the moment the last bite of food is swallowed. At first, everything seems normal. The stomach finishes its work, the body continues its routine. Life goes on. But beneath the surface, an invisible countdown has already begun. Minute by minute, hour by hour, the body starts making decisions that most people never think about. It begins switching fuel sources. It starts unlocking hidden energy reserves. Hormones change. The brain changes. Even the way cells behave begins to change. What looks like a simple decision to stop eating can trigger a chain reaction that affects nearly every system in the body. Yet, very few people know what truly happens during those 72 hours. Many believe the body immediately enters starvation. Others believe fasting is a shortcut to instant health. The truth sits somewhere in the middle, and it is far more interesting than most people realize. As the hours pass, the body moves through a series of stages that reveal just how remarkable human survival really is. Some of these changes are expected. Others are surprising. A few are so powerful that researchers continue studying them today. The human body was not designed only for times of abundance. For most of history, food was not available 24 hours a day. There were no refrigerators filled with snacks, no food delivery services, no convenience stores on every corner. Throughout human history, periods without food were a normal part of life. Because of this, the body developed sophisticated systems to keep functioning when food disappeared. Those systems are still active today. The moment food stops coming in, ancient survival programs begin activating deep inside the body. At first, stored energy is used, then backup systems take over, then deeper adaptations begin. Every stage has a purpose. Every stage tells a story about how the body protects itself. What makes this journey even more fascinating is that different people can experience it in different ways. One person may feel tired and sluggish. Another may experience unusual mental clarity. One may struggle with hunger. Another may notice hunger fading after a certain point. The same 72 hours can feel completely different depending on the person. Yet the biological processes happening underneath follow a surprisingly organized pattern. This is where many myths begin to fall apart. The body does not simply shut down because food is absent for a short period. It responds, it adapts, it changes strategy. In many ways, it becomes more resourceful. Yet adaptation does not mean there are no risks. There are important realities that are often ignored in popular discussions. Understanding both the benefits and the challenges is essential. That is exactly what this video will uncover. Over the next few minutes, you will travel through every major stage of a 72-hour water-only fast. You will learn what happens during the first few hours after eating stops. You will discover why hunger rises and falls in waves instead of continuously increasing. You will learn why rapid weight loss often appears during the beginning of a fast and why much of that loss is not what people think. You will see how the body begins shifting from burning glucose to burning fat. You will discover the role of ketones and why they have attracted so much attention in the scientific world. You will learn what happens to energy levels, concentration, mood, and metabolism as the fasting period continues. You will also uncover lesser-known biological changes that most people never hear about when fasting is discussed online. Some of these changes involve ancient survival mechanisms that have been part of human biology for thousands of years. Others reveal just how intelligent and adaptable the body truly is. As this journey unfolds, a bigger picture starts to emerge. The story of a 72-hour fast is not really about food. It is about survival. It is about adaptation. It is about understanding the incredible systems working silently inside the body every second of every day. The deeper we go into this process, the more remarkable the human body becomes. What happens at 24 hours is very different from what happens at 48 hours. What happens at 48 hours is very different from what happens at 72 hours. Each stage builds upon the one before it. Each stage unlocks a new chapter in the body's response. By the end of this video, you will understand why a short period without food can trigger such widespread changes throughout the body. You will know which changes are supported by science, which claims are often exaggerated, and which facts rarely get discussed at all. Most importantly, you will see the complete picture from start to finish, hour by hour, so you can understand what is really happening beneath the surface. The final stage of this journey contains some of the most surprising insights of all. Many people never make it that far in their understanding of fasting. They hear isolated facts and never see how the entire process connects together. That is why watching until the end is so important. Every stage explains the next stage. Every biological shift creates the conditions for another. Once the full sequence becomes clear, the body's response to fasting starts making perfect sense. What begins as a simple decision to drink only water for 3 days becomes an extraordinary lesson in human biology, resilience, and survival. So stay with us as we follow the clock from the first hour all the way to the 72nd and uncover exactly what happens inside the body during one of the most talked about fasting periods in the world. Welcome to our channel, the channel where curiosity meets knowledge and hidden truths come to light. If you enjoy learning about health, science, the human body, and the remarkable ways it works, make sure to subscribe and join our growing community. Now, let's begin the countdown and discover what really happens when the body receives nothing but water for 72 hours. A few moments after the final meal, the body is still fully engaged in digestion. Food is moving through the digestive system. Nutrients are being broken down and absorbed. Glucose from carbohydrates enters the bloodstream. Amino acids from protein are delivered to tissues. Fats are processed and transported throughout the body. From the outside, nothing appears different. Energy feels normal. Hunger is absent. Most people would never guess that a major biological transition has already begun. The body is quietly preparing for the possibility that no more food may arrive for a while. Blood sugar rises after the meal and then gradually begins moving toward a stable range. Insulin, the hormone responsible for helping cells absorb glucose, remains active as nutrients continue entering the bloodstream. Every organ is carrying out its normal tasks. The heart beats steadily. The brain remains fueled. Muscles have access to energy. Everything appears calm. Yet behind the scenes, the body is already making calculations. It is deciding how much energy is available and how long those resources may need to last. During these first few hours, the body prefers using the energy that has just been consumed. This is the easiest and most efficient fuel source at the moment. There is no need to tap deeply into stored reserves because fresh nutrients are still available. The digestive system continues extracting value from the recent meal. This period is often called the fed state. It is a time when the body focuses on processing incoming energy rather than searching for alternatives. While this may sound ordinary, it is actually the opening stage of a much larger story. The body is constantly monitoring conditions. It notices that no new food has arrived. It notices the passing hours. It notices subtle changes in hormones and fuel availability. Long before hunger becomes noticeable, the body has already begun preparing for what comes next. As the hours continue passing, blood sugar starts settling into a more stable range. Insulin slowly begins declining. This change may seem small, but it signals the beginning of a shift. Lower insulin levels make it easier for the body to eventually access stored energy. The body always tries to maintain balance. It does not wait until a crisis appears. It plans ahead. This ability to anticipate future needs is one reason humans have survived through countless periods of feast and famine throughout history. Even now, sitting comfortably in the modern world, those same survival systems remain active inside every person. Around 6 hours after the last meal, digestion is slowing down. The easy supply of energy from food is becoming less abundant. The body starts paying more attention to stored energy reserves. Blood sugar remains carefully controlled because the brain depends on a stable supply of fuel. The human body is remarkably protective of the brain. It will make significant adjustments to keep brain function operating normally. During this period, many people still feel completely normal. They can work, walk, think, and perform daily activities without noticing anything unusual. Yet beneath the surface, the first stage of adaptation is unfolding. Between 6 and 12 hours, the shift becomes more noticeable internally. Blood sugar begins a gradual decline toward fasting levels. Insulin continues falling. The body starts relying more heavily on glycogen, a stored form of glucose, found mainly in the liver and muscles. Glycogen acts as a backup battery. It exists specifically for situations when food is temporarily unavailable. The liver releases glucose from glycogen into the bloodstream to maintain stable energy levels. This process allows the body to continue functioning smoothly even though food intake has stopped. Many people notice the first real hunger signals during this stage. Interestingly, hunger does not simply increase in a straight line. Hunger often follows patterns connected to habit and routine. If a person normally eats lunch at noon, they may feel hungry around noon even if their body still has plenty of stored energy available. This happens because the brain learns patterns. It expects food at certain times. Hormones associated with hunger can rise according to those expectations. The result is a fascinating experience where hunger may suddenly appear, remain for a short period, and then fade away. This surprises many first-time fasters. They expect hunger to become constantly worse, but instead it often arrives in waves. The body is now entering a phase where stored resources become increasingly important. Glycogen takes center stage. Every hour without food increases the body's reliance on these reserves. The liver works diligently to keep blood sugar stable. Hormones continue adjusting. The body remains calm and organized. Contrary to what some people believe, it is not panicking. It is following a program that has existed for thousands of generations. As the fasting period moves beyond 12 hours, glycogen becomes one of the most important energy sources in the body. The liver's stored glycogen is gradually broken down and released as glucose. This process helps maintain normal function throughout the body. However, glycogen has an interesting characteristic that many people do not know about. Each gram of glycogen is stored alongside water. This means that when glycogen levels begin decreasing, water is released as well. This explains one of the most common observations during fasting. The number on the scale may begin dropping surprisingly quickly. Many people see this early weight loss and assume large amounts of body fat are disappearing. The reality is more complicated. A significant portion of the initial weight loss often comes from water. As glycogen stores shrink, the water attached to those stores leaves the body. This can create dramatic changes on the scale within a relatively short period. Understanding this distinction is important because it helps separate expectation from reality. Fat loss can occur during fasting, but the early rapid drop in weight is frequently influenced by water loss. Hunger may become stronger during this period. The body recognizes that food has not arrived for many hours. Signals encouraging eating can become more noticeable. Some people experience stomach sensations. Others notice thoughts about food becoming more frequent. Yet another fascinating thing begins happening. The body starts becoming increasingly efficient at managing available energy. Adaptation is underway. The body is not simply enduring the fast. it is adjusting to it. Approaching the 24-hour mark, glycogen stores continue shrinking. The backup battery that has been supporting blood sugar is no longer as full as it once was. This creates an important challenge. The body must decide how it will continue meeting its energy needs. It cannot depend on glycogen forever because those reserves are limited. An alternative fuel source becomes increasingly necessary. This is where one of the most remarkable features of human biology begins revealing itself. The body possesses enormous energy reserves stored in the form of fat. Even relatively lean individuals carry significant amounts of stored energy. These reserves exist precisely because food availability has not always been guaranteed throughout history. Human survival depended on the ability to store excess energy and use it later when needed. As glycogen levels fall, fat breakdown starts increasing. Fat cells begin releasing fatty acids into the bloodstream. Hormonal changes support this transition. Lower insulin levels make stored energy more accessible. Other hormones help mobilize fuel reserves. The body is gradually changing strategies. It is moving from dependence on recently consumed food toward dependence on stored energy. At the 24-hour mark, many people expect severe problems to appear. Instead, the body often demonstrates how adaptable it truly is. This does not mean the experience is easy for everyone. Some individuals feel tired. Others notice irritability. Some experience strong hunger. Yet the body itself continues carrying out an organized response. It was built for moments like this. As the fast progresses beyond 24 hours, a major transition gains momentum. Fat becomes a larger source of energy. The liver begins converting some fatty acids into molecules called ketones. These ketones are extremely important because they provide an alternative fuel source for the brain and other tissues. This process is known as ketosis. Ketosis represents a fascinating survival adaptation. Under normal circumstances, the brain relies heavily on glucose. During extended fasting, however, glucose availability becomes more limited. Ketones help solve this problem. They provide another source of fuel that allows brain function to continue. This shift is one reason fasting can feel very different after the first day compared to the beginning. Some individuals report improved mental clarity during this stage. Others describe a sense of focus that feels different from their normal state. Scientists believe ketones may play a role in these experiences. However, responses vary greatly. Not everyone feels energized. Some people experience headaches, fatigue, weakness, or difficulty concentrating. The transition between fuel systems can be challenging. The body is adapting, but adaptation does not always feel comfortable. Hydration becomes increasingly important during this phase. Water loss continues occurring. Changes in electrolyte balance may also influence how a person feels. Dizziness can appear, particularly when standing up quickly. Energy levels may fluctuate. Some hours feel easier than others. This variability is a normal part of the process for many people. Around 48 hours, the body becomes increasingly efficient at using stored fat. Ketone levels often continue rising. The transition that began earlier is now more established. Fat is playing a much larger role in meeting energy demands. The body has moved significantly away from dependence on incoming food. Stories about this stage often contain both truth and exaggeration. Some people describe feeling extraordinary energy. Others report a calm sense of mental focus. These experiences do occur for some individuals. However, fasting does not magically transform everyone into a productivity machine. Reality is far more varied. Many factors influence the experience, including overall health, sleep quality, stress levels, activity level, hydration status, and individual biology. The body continues making adjustments designed to conserve resources while maintaining essential functions. These metabolic adaptations reflect thousands of years of evolutionary pressure. Human ancestors who adapted effectively during food shortages were more likely to survive. The systems operating during fasting today are the result of that long history. Moving into the period between 48 and 72 hours, ketosis becomes more established. Fat continues serving as a major energy source. Ketones remain elevated compared to normal eating conditions. The body is now functioning in a noticeably different metabolic state than it was during the first hours after the final meal. Another topic frequently discussed during extended fasting involves cellular cleanup processes. Cells constantly experience wear and tear. They produce damaged components over time. The body possesses systems that help manage and recycle some of this cellular material. Research has shown that fasting can influence these processes. Scientists continue exploring exactly how these mechanisms work and how they may affect long-term health. Hunger often changes during this stage. This surprises many people. Rather than becoming infinitely stronger, hunger may become less intense for some individuals. The body appears to adjust. This does not mean food suddenly becomes uninteresting. It means the urgent sensation of needing to eat may decrease. Again, experiences vary. Some people continue struggling with hunger throughout the entire fast. Energy can also feel different. One person may report unusual focus. Another may feel physically drained. Several factors contribute to these differences. Genetics, body composition, hydration, sleep, stress, previous diet, and overall health all play important roles. The same 72-hour fast can produce dramatically different experiences in different people. Weight loss remains one of the most talked about aspects of fasting, yet it is also one of the most misunderstood. During 72 hours without food, weight often decreases. However, the composition of that weight loss matters. Water contributes significantly, especially during the early stages. Glycogen depletion releases stored water. Changes in digestive contents also influence body weight. Fat loss can occur, but it represents only part of the overall picture. This is why weight often rebounds when normal eating resumes. Glycogen stores refill, water returns, digestive contents increase again. People who do not understand this process may become confused by the changes. The scale reflects many factors, not just body fat. The brain experiences some of the most interesting effects during fasting. Because ketones can serve as fuel, brain function remains supported even when food intake has stopped. Some people describe sharper focus. Others report emotional changes. Mood may improve or worsen depending on the individual. Brain fog can occur, particularly during the transition phase when the body is adapting to different fuel sources. The science behind these experiences is complex, but the basic principle is simple. The brain requires energy. During extended fasting, the body finds alternative ways to provide it. Ketones become part of that solution. This adaptation has likely played an important role in human survival throughout history. People who complete a 72-hour fast often report a variety of perceived benefits. Some appreciate the simplicity of not constantly thinking about meals. Others become more aware of their eating habits. Some gain a new appreciation for hunger and satiety signals. Others feel encouraged by their ability to complete a difficult challenge. Metabolic changes also occur as the body relies more heavily on stored energy. At the same time, balance is important. Fasting is not a cure-all. It is not a magical solution capable of fixing every health problem. Discussions about fasting sometimes become overly enthusiastic and ignore limitations. A realistic perspective recognizes both potential benefits and potential drawbacks. Safety remains an essential part of the conversation. Water-only fasting is not appropriate for everyone. Dehydration can become a concern. Electrolyte imbalances may develop. Dizziness, weakness, and fatigue can occur. Individuals with certain medical conditions may face additional risks. Medications can complicate fasting. Blood sugar regulation can become problematic for some people. These realities should never be ignored. The body's ability to adapt during 72 hours without food is impressive, but adaptation is not the same thing as invincibility. Biological systems have limits. Individual circumstances matter. What feels manageable for one person may be unsafe for another. As the 72nd hour approaches, one lesson becomes increasingly clear. The human body is far more adaptable than most people realize. What began as an ordinary day without food evolved into a complex sequence of hormonal shifts, metabolic transitions, fuel changes, and survival strategies. Hidden systems activated. Ancient biological programs came online. Energy sources changed. Priorities shifted. The body continuously adjusted in order to maintain function despite the absence of food. Yet perhaps the most important realization is that health is not determined by a single 72-hour period. Long-term habits remain the foundation of well-being. Nutrition, sleep, movement, stress management, and consistency matter far more over time. Fasting reveals the body's remarkable flexibility, but lasting health is built through daily choices repeated again and again. The journey through these 72 hours offers a powerful glimpse into human biology, showing just how extraordinary the body truly is as it works tirelessly, hour after hour, adapting to every challenge placed before it. 72 hours can feel like a long time without food, but as we've seen throughout this journey, the human body is far more capable and adaptable than most people realize. From the moment the last meal was finished, a remarkable chain of events began unfolding behind the scenes. During the first few hours, digestion continued and nutrients were absorbed. As time passed, glycogen stores stepped in to provide energy. Then the body gradually shifted toward burning stored fat. Ketones began rising, hormones changed, hunger evolved, the brain adapted, and through every stage, the body worked tirelessly to maintain balance and keep essential systems running. One of the most surprising discoveries is that the body does not simply shut down when food disappears. Instead, it activates ancient survival mechanisms that have helped humans endure periods of scarcity for thousands of years. What may seem like a simple fast on the outside is actually an extraordinary display of biological intelligence on the inside. Every hour reveals another layer of the body's ability to adjust, conserve energy, and find new ways to keep moving forward. At the same time, this journey reminds us that fasting is not magic. It is not a shortcut that replaces healthy habits. The real lesson is understanding just how incredible the human body truly is. It is constantly monitoring, adapting, and responding to whatever challenges come its way. Even when food disappears for days, the body keeps fighting for balance, survival, and life itself. The next time you sit down for a meal, take a moment to appreciate the countless processes happening inside you every second. Most of them go unnoticed. Yet they are working day and night without rest to keep you alive. Now we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried fasting? What was the longest time you've gone without food? Did you notice any changes in your energy, focus, or hunger levels? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might help someone else learn something valuable. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please take a second to hit the like button. It helps this video reach more people who are curious about health, science, and the amazing capabilities of the human body. And if you're passionate about discovering fascinating health facts, hidden science, and powerful insights that can change the way you see yourself and the world around you, make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upcoming video. Share this video with a friend or family member who would find this topic interesting. You never know who might benefit from understanding what really happens inside the body during a 72-hour fast. Thank you for spending your time with the Metabolic Code. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep exploring the incredible secrets hidden within the human body.